Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So over the last few weeks I've had quite a lot of requests from people who are just starting their colouring journey on how I blend coloured pencils. So as these requests came in, I did a little bit of research on YouTube, as you do, look at other people's videos, and what became apparent to me anyway was that there were many videos showing polychromos being oil and Prismacolor being wax, but there were very few videos on budget friendly pencils and how to blend them. And taking a viewer right back to the very basics. I mean, if you're just starting, it's so frustrating if you don't know what to do. And trust me folks, I know. So one of the things that I would recommend that you do is make yourself some swatch sheets for your pencils. And I use swatch sheets all the time because it helps you with picking your colours. It does me anyway, and you get to know your pencils by their colour names or numbers when you've got swatch sheets. But if you want to learn blending, this will really help with your pencil control. So to go from dark to light, to get that gradient that you need to blend your pencils with. So I thought that's where we'd start. Just very simple, one colour gradient. And that's what you need to master in order to be able to blend, in my opinion anyway. So what I'm going to do is bring you down onto this swatch sheet in a minute, and I'm going to start with Black Widows. And it's really important when you select the colours that they are from the right family. Choosing colours, say, I don't know, let's think a purple and a green, you might have great difficulty blending those. You're going to need some tone in between. You could get a blend, but you're still going to have some obvious colour mixing, and that's not what we want in this video anyway, at least. So if we look at the pencil family that I've chosen here, I've selected yellows, but as you know, if you mix red and yellow you're going to get orange. So we could go from red, orange and into yellow. They would blend seamlessly too, but I want to keep this video as simple as possible. But if you're thinking about colours that mix and are made by each other, that will give you an idea of how to choose your colours to blend. I hope that really makes sense. So like what am I thinking of? So red and blue will make purple. So you could go from blue to red and into purple, for example, you know, or blue, purple into red, that kind of blend. So that's what I'm trying to say. That's how I've stuck to this choice of blending anyway. So I've got Black Widow pencils that I've chosen for our wax demonstration, and then I've got these gorgeous Crayart pencils which are oil. Both of these are budget brand pencils. They work beautifully. I can't vouch for light fastness, I don't know, but these were my first oil-based pencils that I practiced with anyway. I did have oil-based pencils, but I found polychromos so difficult to use, and these really helped. I think I paid less than £40 for a set of 120, and the colours are amazing. I will swatch these out as a video so that you can see them, because they are just wonderful pencils. So if we look at our one colour blend, I'm going to take our darkest of our Black Widow set, and I'm going to do, come on, you can do it, there you go, Banana, which is from the Black Widow set, on my swatch sheet. I'm going to bring you in. No, stop. Oh, it's got stuck on my tripod. There we go. So this is my swatch sheet, and I just have the brand of the pencil at the top on cheap copy paper, because I know that if I can control the pencils on cheap copy paper, you'll be able to do it on most surfaces, most different types of paper. And I just number them from 1 through to 72. So that's it. So when I was learning, just getting the pressure of the pencil right is very difficult. So some people will say hold the pencil further back and practice. Well, my hands are really shaky, so I can't control getting in tight spaces like that, and it would look like a scribble. So I do hold it here, and with swatching I practice lessening the pressure. So let me stop waffling and start showing you. So I'm going to move in just a tad more. If I can get the... I do apologise, sorry, bear with me, it got stuck in the tripod. There we go. So I'm going to start filling in the corner here with hard pressure in small circles, taking my time and just filling it in. So I've got one section there filled in with hard pressure, so you get a full view of what the colour is capable of. And as we go along, I'm going to get less and less and less. So here I'm going to go back over where I stopped, and I'm still using a fair amount of pressure, but I've lessened off. So then we've got that next section filled in. And then I'm going to again go back over that line with even less pressure. Small circles. And then as I get towards the end of the swatch, I'm almost not touching the page with the pencil. There. So you go from very dark to almost non-existent colour. But to get that very dark, you just press hard and then lessen as you go along your page. I hope that makes sense. Should we do another one? Let's do one with the crayon. So here I've got eggplant. There we go. And I'm going to do the same. Now, wax-based pencils are really easy to control, I think anyway, and you can get depth of colour immediately. Oil-based pencils, you have to do a little bit more work, although these are really easy. So having a good point on an oil-based pencil I find really helps, because it helps to fill in all those little bits in the paper that would show up white. It's called the tooth of the paper. So I'm going to fill in, as we did with the Black Widow, the wax one, I'm going to fill in here with hard pressure. The thing is with oil-based pencils, the harder you press, the more difficult they are to control, and they almost resist being put down on the page. So if you lessen your pressure and let the pencil do the work and just let it build that colour up, that'll stop that happening, that resistance. And just keep going over it so you get layer on layer. And that's the difference between wax and oil-based pencils I've found. Oil, you just have to work a little bit harder. And then I'm going back over until I get the depth of colour that I want. And really light pressure, gentle, almost not touching. And then the bits that you want darker, you just keep going back over until you've filled in that tooth of that paper. So what I would recommend is printing yourself off a swatch sheet for your pencils and do this technique to get that skill of really dark to really light, because then we're going to incorporate that into the next stage of blending colours. Okay, let me come back out a minute. So when I was thinking about how to put this video together and the best thing to do to show you this, I wanted it to be as simple as possible. So I've just drawn two ovals on the page, one for the Black Widows and one for the crayon. So like I was saying earlier, I'm going to do a gradient with you, and we're going to go from the darkest to the lightest. And this is just one simple colour, yellow, I've selected, which I showed you earlier, and we're going to go from the dark right down to this very light one. So here are the colours that I've got. Now you could do this with 2 pencils if you want. You could do it with 1 pencil. It depends on what it is you're colouring in and what sort of effect you want. So let's have a look. We've got Black Widow Banana, Yellow Sand Scorpion, Black Widow Lemonade and Cobra Light Yellow. So they're the colours we're going to use. Okay, so I'm placing those in order by the side of me. And I'm going to take my darkest first. We're going to zoom back in. There we go. Sorry about the camera shake. And I'm going to start, and this is just, like I say, cheap copy paper. Nothing special. And I'm just going to start filling this in around the edge here with hard pressure. Now when I say hard, I'm not like gouging it into the paper. I'm doing enough pressure that it fills that tooth of that paper in and gives us the colour, the true colour of the pencil. Okay? So there we are, I've got my darkest bit. Now I'm going to start like we did with our swatch. I'm going to start lessening the pressure and giving me what I call a fade out line, a blending line. So I'm going to start lessening the pressure. And bearing in mind I want to get 4 colours in here, I'm going to have to sort of judge that. And I'm going to get lighter. So I'm almost not touching. There. So this little light patch here is going to be what I'm going to call our blend line. So I'm going to take the next pencil, which is, I hope you can see this, Yellow Sand, which is from the Scorpion set. There we go. And because this is our next colour down, it's not as dark as the banana, I'm going back over that blend out line and slightly into the bit that we'd just coloured before. So this is why I say to practice the swatches, because you've then got control of going from dark to light. So I've gone over my blend out line and I've gone back over the original colour, and we can do that because they're all the same family, it won't hurt it. And then I'm going to create myself another blend out line, so very lightly. So here is my blend out line, and then I'm just making sure I've filled all that in. See, I've gone right back over everything, and it helps to sort of merge the colours, move that wax round. So I'm going to take the next colour, which is Lemonade, which is part of the Black Widow set. No, yes it is, sorry, yeah, part of the Black Widow set. And I'm going to do the same again. I'm going back over the bit I've just coloured, filling in that blend out line we'd left. And then lessening the pressure, creating another blend out line. Okay, and then the final colour that I've chosen is light yellow from the Cobra set. And then all I'm going to do is fill that in. Move my thumb out of the way. Now if you're finding any patches that you're not happy with, you can go back over, but I tend to use my lightest colour to go over the whole thing, and it blends those colours in together. So if I lift it up to you instead of messing about with the camera, can you see? So you can spend your time, take your time. We could go back over that if I want. Let me take my medium colour, which was Yellow Sand, go back over that. If you want to deepen these colours up a bit. Take the medium one, go back in there. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I hope I was in shot. And then finally your pale colour, your lightest colour. There. And we get a lovely blend with no harsh lines. I'm sorry, I hope that was all in shot. Let's switch to using our Cray Arts. And we've got, I've chosen these colours. So in order of darkness to lightness, so we're going purple, and we've got dark right through to very light. I've got eggplant, Byzantium, wisteria and lavender, and we're going to use those in that order. So I always colour from dark to light. I know some people do light to dark, but I could never master going from light to dark and getting it to blend like this. So we're going to do the same as we did for the wax base, but again remembering these are oil, and that a sharp point does help. So there really is no point in pressing hard with wax oil based pencils, because they don't respond. So you have to be a little bit patient and let that colour build up. But the principle is exactly the same. We're building up the colour. Can you see it coming? And then I'm going to create my blend outline. Can you see? So the gradient, learning to get that gradient with one colour is the key. There we are. So we've got the deep purple colour. I'm turning the pencil to get the sharp edge. That'll help flatten that tooth and get that colour in. And then we've got our blend outline. So I'm going to take the next colour, which is Byzantium. I hope that's how you say it. And then we're going to do the same as we did before. We're going right straight over that blend outline. We can go back over the first colour. And oil pencils, if you haven't burnished the page, you haven't squashed that tooth, we'll just keep layering and layering. So we're doing the same thing, going back over, giving ourselves enough of this shade, and then I'm lessening the pressure to give us a fade outline here. I'm going to go back over that, layer that colour up. And it does take time. Colouring with pencils is a slow process. There we go. So we've got our fade outline there. Then I'm going to take the next colour, which is, where are you? Wisteria. And we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to go back over that. There we are. I'm going back over everything. And I've left myself a little corner for the very lightest of all the colours, which is lavender. And then, so I'm now filling that in our last section with lavender, and then I'm going to go over the whole thing to help blend those colours. Now I've done this very quickly because obviously it's a demonstration. You don't want to be sitting for hours while I layer pencils up, but I hope you kind of get the idea of the important part is how to blend them. So there. So then we've then got all our gradients of purples, and you can go back over, like I said, and spend your time layering up to get that absolutely flawless look. And it will happen, but you've just got to work those layers. There we are. That's that one. Then we've got the third colour. And obviously the closer the closer colour match that they are, the easier you're going to find it to blend them. And it's just getting those gradients in between. So then it's not a stark difference between them. I hope this makes sense, I really do. Right. And then I'm just going to scribble over the top. Ah. And then you can just keep working it. So that's how I do it. Obviously it would take a little bit more time to build up those layers, but I hope you get the idea. So what I did was, when I was learning, I hope this will help some of you out there, was I brought a big mandala book. Let me zoom out. Here we go. I brought a big mandala book, so it was just a simple colouring book for adults, and it's full of mandala patterns. And while I was learning, I would choose colours that were very simple, very similar, sorry, I do apologise, and then practice blending. This was Black Widows. So it's exactly the same principle, but just on a bigger scale. So if you have patterns like this, and there you go, there's another one that I've practiced, purples, can you see? Right back at the beginning. And that would be my recommendation, is to get a book that's got big patterns in, or even draw your own. You know, get a little stencil, move that so you can see. Like that's what I used to do our shapes. Draw them over and over and practice blending different colours. You can keep those then as your colour combinations and just get used to colouring. So I know I've used budget pencils, I've used the Black Widow sets, and I've used the Crayart sets. So wax and oil, but the principle will be the same, because pencils are either wax or oil. Maybe a little bit of mix of two, because I think most of them, I think I heard somebody say, had some portion of wax in. But that is how I blend. I really hope that this has been helpful to you guys in your colouring journey. If there's any questions you want to ask and you feel that I haven't covered anything, please feel free to message me, leave a comment, or find me on Instagram. You can message me there, and my email address is in the description box below. So I'll stop waffling, I'll let you go. I hope you've enjoyed watching. So until next time guys, take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.